Hi, how are you? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am so glad that you decided to spend a little time with us. And if this is not your first time here, then welcome back and thank you for coming back again. I really appreciate it. I hope you're all having a great day. It looks like it's going to storm massively. I'm sitting in front of a window and normally I have to work with natural light, but because of a generous gift from a friend in Jen Phelps's makeup group on Facebook, I have this beautiful ring light that I am not now dependent on natural daylight for filming. So what I'm going to do today is a full face of Essence products. So I was going through my makeup inventory a little bit ago, maybe a month or two ago, and I realized that I had almost everything I needed to do a full face using just Essence products. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure where I was. My daughter just came in. I think that filming in this day and age is kind of like talking on the phone when our kids were little. So the phone was kind of like a kid magnet. I think filming is the same way. I don't know if anybody else who does YouTube videos has experienced that. But anyway, it makes for some fun footage that I get to edit out. So let's just jump right in and start putting some makeup on my face. My skin is prepped and ready for makeup. It's super hydrated. But just before starting this video, I filmed my very first mask Monday that I will put up. And if it's up already when this one goes live, then I'll link it in the cards. I think it's going to be on this side. And I'll put it in the description box. But if it's not up yet, then keep an eye out for that. And my hair is also super hydrated because I did a mask on my hair and I also did a mask on my lips. So I'm all prepped and ready to go. So let's get some makeup on my face. I'm gonna get my bangs out of the way here. I don't have any fun clips yet. I should, one of these days, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that and buy some fun clips. So like I said, my face is prepped and I'm going to use, first off, the Essence Prime+Studio Hydrating Skin Refreshing Primer. And normally, because I'm oily, I tend to stay away from hydrating products, but I thought I'd give this one a try. It didn't say anything about glowy or anything like that. And before I start, elephant in the room, my manicure is, I had glitter on these two fingers, and I guess it was just a thicker or something, but it started peeling off. And I could either not film and fix my manicure or just deal with it, and this is life. It looked really nice, and in fact, in my previous video, those two fingers were still painted. So if you want to see what they look like, you can go there. But they just kept getting caught on stuff because they were lifting on the edges, and so I peeled them off. I'm going to put this on. It has a little bit of that Elmer's glue texture, but it doesn't feel like that on the face. Thank goodness. So we're just going to put that all over and press that in to my lines and wrinkles and around the areas where I tend to be drier. Okay. It says it's a 24-hour hydrator. It has coconut water and hyaluronic acid. If you're sensitive to coconut, obviously avoid it. I am not. Then I'm going to use the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. Also has hyaluron and aloe vera. And I am using 030 Natural Ivory. I had to go dampen my sponge, but I'm back now. I have a ceramic soap dish that I use as a palette that I got at the Dollar Tree for $1. I'm going to put a small amount of this foundation onto that, and then I like to kind of smoosh it around so I don't get too much at any one time. And then I'm just going to spread it around with my fingers. And it looks a little yellow at first, but it blends in really well. Full disclosure, these are not first impressions. I have used these products, and so I can give you kind of some idea of what I think of them. I do like the primer. For a hydrating primer especially, I don't think that it makes me any oilier or reduces the wear time of my makeup or anything like that. It does help the makeup stay on, and it does help me stay hydrated. So, win-win. Put a little more of this on, spread some up here. I like to do just a portion of my face at one time so that the foundation doesn't dry or set while I'm working it in one place. And then when I get it all on, I will put my sponge back in what's left on the palette and take it back over areas where I'd like a little more coverage. sides of my nose. I press in really good. This is, I would say, a light to medium coverage. It's not going to cover everything. So if you have a lot to cover, you might want to build it up with a little fuller coverage. But if you're looking for kind of a natural lip, this is nice. Okay, so I got interrupted again because we also homeschool, and my daughter is a sophomore and needed some help with her Algebra 2. So I had to go help with that, and that is an allowable interruption because, I mean, that's kind of what I'm here for. I don't have a lip balm from Essence, so I am just going to put on a little of this e.l.f. Ride or Die clear lip balm just to give my lips some moisture while I'm doing this. All right, so I have my foundation on. I got that finished before I was pulled away. And now I'm going to use the Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer. It says it's waterproof and covers tattoos. So it's a very full coverage concealer. And I have the shade 20 Light Ivory. I had tried the shade 30, thinking it would be the same as the foundation, but it was too yellow. So we're going to just dab this, and because it is a very full coverage concealer, I'm going to start with just a little bit because I don't want to get too much. And then I'm going to use my finger to spread it out. The more product you put under your eye, the more likely you are going to have settling and creasing. So you really want to use just what you need to cover what you want covered, and then stop. And once I have it blended in with my finger, then I will just take the sponge and blend the edges into the foundation. We'll let that set for just a little bit before we go in with any powder. For my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use the I Heart Color eyeshadow primer. It says it's intensifying. It is almost gone, so I took the stopper out, and then it gets kind of gloppy, but I will go ahead and put a little of that on and blend it out. But it does help with evening the base for your eyeshadow. So that's done. We'll let that dry. And while that's setting a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. And I have this Eyebrow Designer pencil. It doesn't have a spoolie, but it does have this little brush here on the end. I have it in the color 04 Blonde. So I'm just going to brush up my brows a little bit. And it's kind of a hard pencil. It's just a regular sharpening pencil. I am going to warm it up just a little bit because when I used it before, it was a little bit harder than I tend to like. And so I'm going to warm it up just a little bit to help it go on without tugging too badly. I tend to like a micro brow pencil in general because I don't have a lot of eyebrow hair. And so I like making those short little hair-like strokes to mimic the hair that I don't have. I will do one eye talking and explaining what I'm doing, and then I'm going to be quiet for the other eye so I can either eliminate it and edit it out so the video is not so long, or speed through it. Okay, so I'm going to brush this through now to kind of blend it. And it's okay, but it's not my favorite. It feels a little waxy. I'll use it and it won't go to waste, but it's not my favorite formula. I much prefer the micro brow pencils. What I really like from Essence, and this is not the first one of these I've had, is the Essence Make Me Brow Gel. And I have mine in, hang on, 03 Soft Brownie Browns. I used to do the 02, but then I started going a little bit darker with my hair color. And so I deepened up the eyebrow color too. And again, there's not a lot of hair to put this through, but it does help define and hold what I do have, because as I'm sure many of you are aware, as your hair starts to gray, it also becomes coarser and a little bit more unruly. So a brow gel that's going to hold things kind of where you want them becomes a little more important, sadly. All right, now for my face, I am going to use some powder, and I have two here. I have the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder, and I'm going to use that under my eyes. And then I have the My Skin Perfector Loose Fixing Powder. It says Instant Blur Effect and Natural Matte Finish. So I'm going to use this on my face, and I'm going to use the Brighten Up under my eyes. I have more than one. So this is a LaRousse brush that I got in an Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. It is the LR342, the contour blending brush. This is perfect for under the eyes. So I'm just going to take a little bit here. And before I go in with the powder, I'm going to press out, and I lean over here because this is where my slightly more magnified part of my mirror is. You don't want to powder until you have pressed out any creases that might be there in your concealer, because you will just set those creases right in. And then I'm going to press and brush away the extra. Okay, so that's the powder. And then the loose powder, I'm going to put just a little in the cap, and I'm going to use the companion brush to that LaRousse. I got this also in the same Ipsy. This is the LR360, the tapered face brush, and it's a really nice powder brush. So I'm going to dab that in there, tap it off, and just pounce that over my face, under my chin, and on my forehead. And I do powder everywhere, even though I've used that nice hydrating foundation, because as I said, I do get oily, especially in the T-zone. And this is another one of those days where it's going to start out, it's about noon right now, and it's going to just go until about 10:30 tonight when I get home from rehearsal. So need it to stay. I have the Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder, and this is it's actually the deeper skin one, but it looked like a better color for me than the lighter one. I can't remember if the lighter one was more orange or whatever, but this is a brush from Farrah that I got also in an Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. I love when I get brushes and tools in my Ipsy Glam Bag, because I will not buy myself nice brushes. I just won't spend the money on them. This is the Dome Powder Brush, and I like using this for bronzer because it makes it nice and diffuse and really gives a sun-touched look to the skin. So it does have kind of a tropical, coconutty, beachy sort of smell. It's a huge pan, so if you want to use it on your body, you certainly can. I don't typically bronze my body, but you could if you wanted to, and I actually might consider it, especially for this role I'm playing, where I'm supposed to be vacationing on a Greek island. So that's that. And then for blush, I actually have two blushes from Essence. I have their blush lighter in Nude Twilight, and I have the Mosaic blush in All You Need Is Pink. I think I'm going to use this today. I used this yesterday, and it's really pretty. I like going in on the deeper side for the blush and then using the highlight side for my highlighter. So it just gives kind of an all-over glow. But I think I want to do the more pinky blush today. And I just swirl in the whole thing and then go in on the high point of the cheek. For highlighter, 10 Be My Highlight. This is the Essence highlighter that everybody talks about, how it's such a natural, pretty highlighter, and it really is. I'm going to use, this is the companion brush to this one, also from Farrah, and it is the pressed powder brush, but I'm going to just dip that in here and go right on the top of the cheek. You can kind of see that there. I'll put just a little at the bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, Cupid's bow, and then I take my sponge again that has that foundation on it, and I just press all of that together. Foundation, the highlight, and the blush, just to soften those edges. One thing I don't want at my age are hard edges. So, okay, moving along to the eyes now. I picked up at TJ Maxx this Good Day Sydney eyeshadow palette, and I have used this quite a bit. So we're going to use this today. Isn't that a pretty... there we go. Isn't that a pretty color story? I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I want to use some of the color, but I think I'm going to use it as an eyeliner instead of... In fact, I have this pretty blue eyeliner, so I may try to bring in some of these blues and use this eyeliner, and we'll just see what we come up with, because right off the bat here, I don't know what I'm going to use. So I will go in, as I always do, with the lightest color in the palette here on a fluffy brush, and just use it to set my eye from crease to brow bone and bring in a little lightness. And on this one, I'm actually going to bring it in that inner corner too, just to lighten up that area a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to take, I think this one, it's a little cooler tone. There are two crease colors in here that work for me. One's a little cooler, one's a little warmer. So I'm going to go with the cooler one right now. And just put that in the crease with this nice fluffy brush. This one doesn't have a name on it, but I'm pretty sure it also came in an Ipsy. They are fairly powdery, and you do need to blend them. So they're nice shadows for beginners because they're not going to go in with a huge amount of pigment right off the bat that then you have to figure out what to do with. Some people don't like that. Some people want a more pigmented shadow, and that's fine. We all have our preferences. I do tend to like a shadow that I can build up. I am going to now go into this deeper brown right here, this little taupey brown, on a slightly smaller. This is a an Eco Tools. This is an Eco Tools brush, and it's a little bit smaller, but it's still fluffy, and I want to go in now, rather than holding my brush this way, I'm kind of down here and I'm pushing up into that crease. I want this color lower than the one I just put on, if that makes sense. And I'm defining that outer section of the eye just by making small circles. And I'm not bringing it too low. I don't want to get down below the corner of my eye. I'm not doing a very good job of being quiet on the other side, am I? We'll try it this time. Okay, as I blow off the powder, the fallout, I am now going to use this shimmer, this coppery shimmer right here, and I'm going to take that on the movable lid, pretty much on the whole thing. I'm going to use the blue, but I'm going to use it sparingly for just a surprising hint of color. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pinky finger, because it's my smallest one, and I'm going to go into that lighter blue shade on my pinky finger, and I'm going to pop that right in the inner corner. And just make this sort of little unexpected inner corner color. So now I want to deepen up my outer crease a little bit. And again, stepping down, still kind of fluffy, but it's pinched, so it's a little flatter and it's smaller. This is a Shayna B, and it's just their shadow brush. And I'm going to go into the dark brown and work on defining this outer V. I'm bringing it just under the very outer corner to connect that. I'm not going to drag that under the eye. And I'm going to pull that into the crease a little bit to further add some depth. Okay. Now, just because I have them and I want to use them, I have these melted chrome. I think they're discontinuing these. I have 3 of them and I love them. They're gorgeous. I have, they're little tiny, I can't read them. Golden Crown, which is just gold like you would expect. Zinc About You, which is the one I'm going to use. And Iconic, which is a really pretty pewtery kind of color. I guess I could swatch it for you. I mean, look at that. Seriously? Essence, these are like $1.99, $2.99, something like that. How? I don't get it, but they're gorgeous. So here's the gold one. And then here is the more pinkish one. I mean, look at that. Okay, so we're gonna put those on my arm here. One swipe. Gorgeous. I am going to just use this to kick up the shimmer in the center of my lid a little bit because I want a little more shimmer than that. They're soft, they're buttery, and they just shine like crazy. I mean, look at that, seriously. Okay, now let's add some of this blue, deeper blue. So I'm going to take now a really flat shader brush. This one is a BH Cosmetics, and it's, like I said, it's a really flat shader brush. And I'm going to use the little bit deeper blue. I'm going to just dip the tip into it, like that. And I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. If you want to dip your fingers into some color, but you're a little nervous about it, or you work in a little bit more conservative environment where you can't really just, you know, go all out, using color as a liner is a great way to get your feet wet and become a little bit more comfortable with the idea of color on your eye. I'm going to use this bright blue and I'm going to line my waterline with it. Maybe. This is the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil, 17 hours. Okay, it's not wanting to transfer, so I'm going to just do a little on my hand to start it and warm it up. The other thing you can do sometimes if you're having trouble with getting an eyeliner to transfer is just dry that waterline slightly with a Q-tip. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little disappointing. I was hoping that that would be smoother and go on better than that. And I was able to get it there, but it did take a bit to make it happen. So the other eyeliner pencil I have, I got this white, which is nice if you want to brighten up that lower waterline. I'm not going to use that today, obviously, because I just used the blue. And I have this brown, and I am going to use that to line the upper waterline. This is also the Essence Long Lasting Waterproof 18 Hour. It's in the color Hot Chocolate. It transferred much more easily to the waterline than this one did. And I don't know, this one says Long Lasting Eye Pencil 17 Tata Turquoise. I don't know what the difference is, but they did work differently. And now I'm going to put this a little bit above the lash line as well. I normally use a liquid liner for this, but I don't have an Essence liquid liner. So we'll just use what I have. Very creamy. It goes on very nicely. And I'm able to control it to the lash line. I do have very crepey eyelids, especially along the lash line, so I will take a smudger brush. This is just like a rubber tipped brush here, and just smudge that together to soften that line and get rid of some of the skipping from my eyelids. It's not the pencil's fault. It is entirely my eyelids' fault. I do have a little bit of fallout from this eyeshadow, so I'm just going to take my powder brush that I used from earlier and brush that away. Okay, so I need to do my mascara, but before I do mascara, I like to use setting spray, and I have this Fix and Last 18-hour setting spray. Instant matte effect and waterproof, free from oil and alcohol. So this is an alcohol-free mattifying setting spray. That's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to test the sprayer. I haven't used this in a while. Okay. Oh, it is a little bit spitty. Not my favorite sprayer. Okay, a little pretentious wafting here. It did kind of spit at me, which I am not happy about. The very best sprayer that I've used in quite a while is on the e.l.f. Mint Melt Collection setting spray. And the setting spray inside is awesome. So I have 3 setting sprays open right now that I cannot allow myself to buy a new setting spray until I get through some of them. But when I do, I will definitely be repurchasing that e.l.f. one. This setting spray is good. It does help the makeup last. And other than the sprayer, so while I'm trying to use it up, I may put it into the e.l.f. sprayer. I have done that with another setting spray that I didn't like the sprayer on and thought I didn't like the setting spray until I put it into a better sprayer. And then I did like the setting spray. That was the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Charcoal. So I'm going to quickly curl my lashes. Now, Essence has some of the most loved mascaras on the market, and they're like $4.99. You cannot beat them. I have used the Lash Princess, the green one, the False Lash Effect. I used up a tube. This is a brand new one, so I get to open it. Hang on, here we go. Ready? Oh man, it didn't do it. That's disappointing. It's so much more satisfying when you rip it and it rips all the way, when you get a hold of it and it rips all the way down. But such is not to be today. So this is the one I like, False Lash Effect in the green. I also have this Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer, and I really like this lash primer. If you've used the L'Oreal, it's a lot like that one. Typical white, has the bristly brush, and so I'm going to use this and then the Lash Princess just so that you can see more products. The Lash Princess does not really need a lash primer, but we'll go for it. And yes, I am putting it on my bottom lashes too, just for the fun of it. Okay, so when you have lash primer on, you look a little crazy. I'm going to let this dry. I'll be right back. Okay, I am going to go in with the Lash Princess False Lash Effect, and we'll probably do 2 coats of this. And as I always do, I just touch the side of my nose with the end of the mascara wand. If that happens, don't panic. Leave it be. When it dries, it will brush right off. And I will show you when I'm done. Okay, so there's one eye. You can see, I don't want to go that way because I'll touch the, nah, I already did. Anyway. The nice thing about when you put on a white eyelash primer, you know when you've got all your lashes covered because the white is gone. All right, we're going to go in with coat number 2. As far as I'm concerned, this is when the magic happens with almost any mascara, is when you go to the second coat. Or it's when the disaster happens, because if you have a mascara that doesn't layer well, that's when you're going to find you get the spider clumpy lashes. All right, so I'm going to take care of that mistake, and I have a fluffy brush that is a C-Color brush, C-Color Cosmetics. It came in a palette from C-Color, and I use this specifically and only for cleaning up mascara mistakes. Grab my little 10X mirror, And all you have to do is gently brush that away. I do under and I do my eyes as well because I always get mascara dots. Not a makeup artist, just a makeup enthusiast. I make mistakes, but then I show you how to fix mistakes if you make them too. So, all right, we're going to take off this lip balm that I put on earlier. I have the Essence Stay 8-Hour Waterproof Lip Liner in the color So Default. I love this lip liner. It's one of my very favorites. Would probably use it almost every day. But I've been keeping it close to my basket of Essence products. So that when it was time to film, I would know where it was. But now it can go live with the rest of my product, with the rest of my lip products, so that I can use it whenever I want. This is the Essence, this is Nudes line. This color is Happy, and it's a semi-matte traditional bullet lipstick. Super pretty and goes really, really well with the So Default lip liner. It's a great combination. Now, I don't really have, I have two of the Essence Shine 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 lip glosses, but they're both kind of pinky, and this is more of a coral. So this one is very frosted, and so I may try and put just a touch of this in the center. And blend it in like that, just to give a little shine, but I'm not going to put on a full-on lip gloss. So I have 07 Happiness in a Bottle, and it's this really pretty mauve-y. These are super pigmented. I mean, you could wear just this with a lip liner. There's no, you wouldn't have to put it over a lip. Yeah, I made a big gloppy mess out of that. And then this one with that's a little more frosted is Smile, Sparkle, and Shine. I'll put that one over here. And it's just kind of a pearlescent pink. I don't really like the way this one smells. I can't pin it down. It's more of a cotton candy-y kind of smell. It's not really vanilla. It's sweeter than that, and it's a little overpowering. I don't think that this one has the same scent. This one's a little more fruity, and then there's kind of a lipstick smell underneath it. But I don't really like the way this one smells, just for what it's worth. Okay, so there's my look with a full face of Essence products. I hope that you have enjoyed what I've done here, and I will try to come back this evening when I get done with rehearsal and just kind of check in and see how things are looking and let you know how this all wears. I'm really happy with the way everything looks. I think that my skin looks kind of fresh and glowing, but not oily, and that's always kind of my goal. I don't want to be too matte, but I don't want to look like a grease pit. So there's this balance between a little bit of glow, but I know that my natural oils are going to come out in a few hours, and so where I start out has to be a little more matte because I know it's not going to end up that way. Anyway, so we'll take a look at this in a few hours, like 9, 10 or so, and see where we're at. In the meantime, take care, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so I am back home from rehearsal, and it was a very active one. We did a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, 3 hours worth. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I haven't had supper yet. It is about 10 after 10, which means I've had this makeup on for about 9.5 hours. I did powder about 6 o'clock because just in the T-zone, I had an interview that I needed to do on stage for a video that we're doing for our 40th anniversary, and I didn't want to be super shiny, but I really think that everything is held up well. I'm going to look at myself here for a second, kind of scooching in a little closer. And the makeup has worn off a little, kind of in here. It's still pretty good on my nose. It's a little worn off right in here, a little worn off on my chin. but it's not horrible. It's not bad. I think the eye makeup still looks really good. I don't have any flaking or smudging of the mascara. The concealer has worn off in the inner corner, which usually happens. The brow pencil actually stayed on pretty good. I'm a little bit surprised about that. I didn't expect that. And blush, bronzer, highlight, all kind of hanging in there. The lipstick, I put this on again at 6, but it's pretty much gone. So yeah, that's the makeup, and I'm pretty happy with how it all looked and lasted and wore through the day. And I'm gonna go eat something and go to bed. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.